If you are looking for totally underrated ways to make money on Skool, then this video is for you. Hi there, my name is Evelyn Weiss. I'm a digital entrepreneur. I've generated over 8 million online. I am also on Skool with multiple communities. My biggest one is doing $50,000 a month. I'm a Skool affiliate, investor, and I run the ads for the platform. And these ways of making money on the platform that I'm sharing with you in this video, I think are totally underutilized, underrated, and underleveraged. All right, so let's jump right in. First, we need to talk about free communities. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, how is that underrated? Everybody on Skool is having a free community, and then they have a paid community or a high ticket, and they basically use the free community for lead generation, and then they upsell. I don't mean that at all. I more mean, think of a free community like an Instagram theme page, right? If you've been around online a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. If not, here is what I mean. The goal of the free community is to gather people who have a shared interest and passion, and you monetize it like Facebook theme pages would monetize, or like a YouTube channel around a certain topic would monetize. So for example, sponsored shoutouts, affiliate collaborations, merch, having your own product line, digital products, courses, may that be your own or others. The whole goal is just audience building around a targeted interest. And this is experiencing a revival because of how social media is developing. We are out of the influencer era and we have entered the interest graph era. So what does that mean? Somebody who talks about this all the time is Gary Vee. And in a recent video about 2025 consumer trends, he said that even new creators, or even if you have had a channel about a certain topic for years, if you make one piece of content that hits a certain interest really well, that piece of content can go viral in that era, because how the algorithms work right now is that they are finding people interested in a topic of your content for you rather than showing your content to your audience. Another really cool piece of content that helped me to understand this, it was an interview with the Patreon founder, and I think it's called The Death of the Follower. So basically he described really well how platforms have gone to commoditize your content and distribute it in a way that retains the user longer on the platform. So there's this tension now that the platforms want to keep the user on the platform, increase average usage so they can show more ads and monetize better, versus your interest of building an audience that is now in conflict. And this is why we want to build our audience on a platform where we can reach 100% of our people, and that's possible on Skool. So basically it becomes a solution to what's happening on social media right now that prevents you from building audience the way you probably want to for your business purposes. And you can also monetize it really, really beautifully just through the emailing function. So building community around shared interest, building communities around passion is a big, big opportunity right now. And you'll be able to monetize it in many, many different ways for years to come, without having to be an expert. Totally underrated, totally underused and underleveraged. Now the next one is community around physical products. And this is something that I've personally done. So I basically, together with my friend and mastermind member and now business partner, Laura Bull as well, we created a community to basically fund the production of my physical product. So this is one of the products that Laura made for herself. She also does this for clients. So she helped me create my physical product. And in order to fund the production, we did create a Skool where we pre-sold. This is the daily self-management sheet and my planner. In there, I also have YouTube videos that document the journey, that if you want to learn about that specifically. And so basically we now have a community kickstarted the production, but that also kickstarted a community around my physical products. And I can use that community for market research. I can use that community as an audience that I warm up for pre-launch of new products where I can sell again, right? And so basically it's the backbone for my physical product empire. And I think if you are creating physical products, building community around it can massively de-risk you. Is a competitive advantage because you have that market research lab. Is a competitive advantage because you have that feedback, right? So, and you have that user-generated content engines. People already post their pictures of the planners and the resources that they have received. And you basically have an audience to also launch future products to. So school communities for physical products, completely underrated and highly effective. Now, one thing that I just said in there is maybe a subcategory that I also want to highlight, which is using Skool to build an audience pre-launch. You know that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail with a launch, and most launches flop because people don't build a targeted pre-launch audience that they nurture for the launch. And Skool is such an incredible place to do that. You can gather people around the interest of the thing that you want to launch, may that be a physical or a digital product or a cohort or a mastermind. You can gather them on Skool pre-launch, connect, nurture, warm them up, and then have a launch event where you eventually sell your offer, right? So you can do launches on Skool in various ways. And I again think that's such an underrated opportunity right now because 100% of people are seeing your posts. It's a great way to build up a pre-launch community and have a live launch event. And I'm talking about, doing a masterclass or a workshop launch, single or multi-day workshops, as well as single or multi-day challenges or boot camps in a Skool community. In my opinion, totally underrated. I think big people like Russell Brunson did that on Skool already. So if you see that somebody who has this much online experience is moving over to do this, I think it's a strong signal that it's an opportunity to make money on Skool. All right, so the next one that I have is there are actually physical product-based memberships in the form of subscription products. A really big example that's top of mind for me right now is Mark. He made the squirrel parkour. I love to watch it with my son. So he's this big YouTuber and he has these boxes with science experiments for kids, and you can order them to get shipped a new science experiment every single month, right? So those are physical product-based subscription boxes. I have not seen a lot of those businesses on Skool yet building community around their subscription box businesses, because think about it, it really helps not only with retention and community building, but also with user-generated content. And because of how Skool Affiliate works, it would also be much easier to get an affiliate program started or grow it through Skool. So I think supporting subscription box businesses with communities on Skool is totally underrated opportunity. And then on the other hand, also if you're thinking about what type of community could I make on Skool, a monthly subscription box is one of the nicest ways to pair physical products with the community, because you have always something going. And it's actually the vision that I have for my physical products is eventually I want to develop monthly growth boxes around certain things with physical products in them as well. And the place where I want to have that is Skool, just because it makes it so simple, right? That thing, creating physical products and having a subscription box business is difficult enough, but Skool at least makes all of the community building and monetization around it easily, which is why I think it's such a great opportunity. Now, next up, we have low ticket funnels. I've done this on Skool multiple times, right? So we just talked about having workshops on Skool as a launch event. One thing that I love to do is when I have launch events, I like to evergreen my effort into an evergreen funnel. And so I did this with one of my monthly workshop launches, the ChatGPT ads course. I did host that workshop in a Skool community. Usually I just do unlisted lives on YouTube, but I did decide to host it in a Skool community, create a hub for all of the resources there, and then just sell it as a self-study course solution, basically creating a lead community for my Grow with Evelyn community, for my biggest Skool community. And the reason why this kind of is brilliant and was working so well is, first off, I can run ads to Skool relatively easily because I have the conversion API, and Facebook knows based on the URL what a Skool buyer looks like. And the cool thing is that you can also have people that are outside of Skool and they now start to understand how the community works, and you basically also have a lead generation group where you can go live and where you can offer things if you are opening up something for your other programs. So it's a great way to kickstart lead generation community and get double dip on any launching efforts and just turning that into a low ticket funnel community. All right, another underrated way to make money on Skool is to have pop-up cohorts, pop-up programs. So I have a video on this. Watch me launch and sell a program in, I think, 90 minutes or something like that, a few hours, I don't know. And there I show you exactly how I create pop-up programs on Skool that I run as live cohorts where people either watch me replicate something I've done on a weekly basis and they can follow along, or we co-create something together. So we're basically taking that hypothesis of we double dipping on the launch effort, but we're doing it as in we're double dipping on a live cohort. So if my members signal me that they want to do something more intensely together, I typically create a pop-up program for it. It is really fast, like this video will demonstrate you. I pre-sell it, I host the live cohort, and after that I can decide what I want to do with it. So either I want to run it as a cohort again, right? But then I increase the price and I have all of the testimonials and results to show for, or I turn it into a self-study course, which is what I've done with most of mine, or I can even use them as the starting point for a new community. So running cohort pop-up programs, I think, is totally underutilized on Skool, and it's so easy to set up and it's so seamless to run. It's so easy to charge. One of the best ways in which you can monetize your Skool. Now, another way or another thing what you can do on Skool is when you have a coaching offer, you can use a Skool community to charge for additional services. So when I started to coach online one-to-one, one of the things that happened was that I started to just sell on an hourly basis, right? So 1 hour of mine was $97. And what happened then was people would come back after the hour and they would ask me questions and they would want to have feedback and they would want to brainstorm with me. And so I did all of this extra work in between sessions where I just let them pick my brain because I felt like, oh, they paid for a session, so they are a client, so I should actually, also support them. But if I looked at it, they would purchase an hour for 97 minutes and then I would work for 3 to 4 hours in the DMs, just basically supporting them. I learned then over the time that, well, I can sell a package and I can set expectations around that. But I think a totally under-leveraged and underused and underrated way to use Skool is to actually make that a separate offer. So you can sell your one-to-one services still as in on an hourly basis, but then you can also say, hey, and by the way, if you have any questions or you need any support in between, you can join this community for a certain monthly price, and there you can ask follow-up questions. I can review things. So it's a boundary setting tool for you as well as a tool to start building up monthly recurring revenue. And then the beautiful thing is that you'll see as you start to work more with more clients on a one-to-one basis, you'll keep doing similar things with them. You keep sharing the same resources with them. So you can just have all of that organized seamlessly in one hub, and it's a boundary setting tool. It's a tool to start adding monthly recurring revenue. And later on, when you have more demand around yourself, you just flip the switch and you go more from being a one-to-one coach first with having a one-to-many offer as well to having a one-to-many offer, and then you upsell further one-on-one services from within the community. It's one of the most seamless ways to transition from one-to-one into one-to-many coaching. And another way in which you can do that is, for example, to also offer office hours, right? So it's like, hey, I am setting, this boundary. If you want feedback, support, etc., here are the office hours when I am online on any given day to have capacity to do this, right? And you can just say, I have 2 office hours every single day, and joining this community guarantees you that, I can check in during my office hours. And if it's something that takes me longer, I can check on the next day during my office hours. So I think really, really great way to make money on Skool and to add income to what you potentially already do for free. Okay, so next up is, and this is related to it, is to just have a service delivery hub. So I always think of my YouTube editor, content genius Ben. So if he has multiple one-to-one clients for his services, which he already has as an agency, as a client of his, I would massively benefit of being in a community with his other clients. First off, he could, all of the reminders that he sends me right now on WhatsApp, he's like, I'm done with this new content reminder, right? He could post that in the community. And instead of reaching out to all of his clients individually, the community would see that. He provides video ideas. He could do that in the community so he doesn't have to send those separately. He provides also feedback on the videos. He could also, again, do that, just publish it in the community, and all of his clients could learn from it. But then also all of the clients could see, what are the other clients doing? What is working for them? So it's almost naturally creating a sort of mastermind environment, connection environment between your clients, increasing the value you provide, increasing the retention without adding extra effort for you, right? So it can be a great way to cultivate your and optimize your client relationships if you are a service provider. I don't think enough people are using that on Skool yet. You can charge your monthly retainer just like that on Skool. Also would make it easier for me as a client. Right now my husband always does the transfer, right? And it would just be easier for us as well to have that hosted on Skool. Plus for Ben, it would also be a great way to set boundaries, because sometimes I'm hollering at Ben. It's like, can you please edit this ad quickly for me? Can you please edit this quick video sales letter for me? What he could do is he could have the community for his retainer on the YouTube editing and packaging services. And then additional, hey, need your ad reviewed, ad editing services, advertisement editing services, purchase this additional retainer. Need a video sales letter edited, purchase this additional thing, right? So he can just have a service menu where he can also then set beautiful boundaries with his client and get paid for his additional work. And also his clients will understand, I actually already have somebody for that. All right, then we have local customer communities. I think this is totally underrated. So, I go and I work out in the gym here. I go and I have a yoga class. I go to a certain restaurant I love to go. I think it's a totally underrated opportunity to have a community for your customers. And what I found from the few local communities that I got is that it's so much easier to start connecting online when it's like, hey, this is me and here's what I do. And, when you see me, come up to me, etc. So it's so much, just because of how our society has changed, it's easier for us to build and form those online connections than to make them in person first. But then once we have formed them online, meeting in person suddenly becomes so easy because we already know each other. And where I also really noticed this is from the WhatsApp community that we have for my son's kindergarten, right? So it was like in the hallway, of course you say, oh, hi, right? But then it's like after we text in the WhatsApp community and we send funny things, etc., that's when we actually start to connect, and the in-person stops to be like awkward. It's just a continuation of what we have done online. And so I think that's a big opportunity for businesses to actually create community around their services and to get their customers connected, because it's easier to go to the gym when you like the people there, when you look forward to seeing them, when you can arrange accountability and training sessions, when you know about the events, when everybody's excited, when you know who's coming, right? It just makes it so much more attractive to want to go. And it also becomes more efficient for you to communicate your promotions and also to get your customers' feedback as well. All right, so tying into that under-leveraged way to make money using Skool is to actually organize in-person events and use a Skool community for selling that event and warming people up, hyping people up, providing resources for the event. I flew back from Kelowna, where I was a speaker at an in-person event for one of the Skool IRLs that Goose organizes. And they have organized the sales for that in a Skool community. And what's so beautiful is they did it for charity purposes, and they were able to raise almost $70,000 with that in-person event for charitable purposes. And it was all coordinated through that school community effort. And, at the event, I talked to people. It was so cool for me as a speaker as well. I had a lot of people coming up after my talk and asking me questions. And I had a lot of YouTube videos that I had recommended for them. So I just was able to post those in the Skool community so that people can stay connected with me. So, and that's also a great opportunity for your speakers as well, right? So when you think about organizing in-person events, when your speakers know that there's an audience that they can further promote to online as well, it also makes it much more attractive for them as well. So in real life events, massively underutilized way to make money on Skool. All right, then we have white label community management. So this is one that was pretty popular when we had this original Skool Games community and when Alex Hormozi was still doing his weekly Q&As there. We were talking a lot about being a group operator. But I think since then, the conversation around it has dried out a little bit. I still think it's one of the most underrated ways to make money on Skool is when you have a person that already has an audience. They already love to create content, but they don't know how to monetize it. You can run a community for them. If you know how to run community because you've been a member first and you see how people provide value, you can approach people with an audience and do that for others. And one of the easiest ways in which you can do that is, for example, if somebody has a big YouTube channel, they can, for example, just pre-release videos in their community and then have members-only Q&As, right? So you can literally see and check out what others are doing on Patreon and make that elevated and higher priced on Skool. On Skool, people are on average charging more and people are willing to pay more for Skool because that community element is so pronounced, right? And for example, one of the patrons I'm subscribed to is Dr. Grande. He does like these true crime analysis with like a really dry humor from the standpoint of a psychologist. So I really love his videos. And I would love to geek out with Dr. Grande fans about Dr. Grande content. But right now, the only place to do this is the comment section. And the Patreon community seems pretty dead to me. Or maybe it's like hard to navigate. I'm not sure. I would love to be in a Skool community. And I would pay double what I pay for Patreon if it was there. Right? So I think showing people with an audience that there is different ways in which they could provide additional value and that helping their viewers to establish a community with each other is one of the most hands-off ways for them to do it, especially if you can facilitate it as an operator. Massively underrated way to make money on Skool. All right, then one of the ones that I am working towards is a legacy library. Right? So I am an online educator, I'm a coach, I'm a course creator, or a consultant mentor. I would say I'm much more than a coach. And I've created so many things over the years. And, sometimes I very actively promote them and have them in funnels. And sometimes they're just sitting around and I'm not selling them. I am right now actively working on a catalog on Skool to basically create an inventory of all of my work that I have done. And once I'm at a good starting point where I have the first things in there, I'll start and roll it out for a lower monthly fee because I can grandfather people in and just share the vision with them of, hey, this is my legacy library. I am collecting things that I produce, forgotten treasures, my life's work here in a catalog. And the sooner you join, the longer you have access for it for a lower cost. And eventually at one point when I'll retire, it will get more and more expensive over time. I'll just put it at a high one-time price. And that's my retirement offer. And so I think that that's really such an underutilized way to make money on Skool is just putting all of your legacy offers that are still really good, but they're not a promotional focus for you right now, but people can still have a ton of value from them, to just put them in a Skool community and put an appropriate price on it and just let people know that you have that, because that's just an extra revenue stream, additional way to make money that just leaving on the table. All you have to do is go back and make a catalog for it. Talking about making a catalog for things, I also just went out to create a Skool community as a high value lead magnet hub. So I think that's a really underrated way to make money on Skool is you probably have a lot of free content just flying around everywhere, right? Build up over the years. So people do have that. And you probably have created a ton of free resource over your career. And so what I started to do now is I created a free school where I just organize all of my content related to a certain topic. In this case, I started with related to school in a classroom with public view, and I used ChatGPT to create SEO and AI searched optimized articles and timestamps for under these videos, and I just put the community on public. Well, first off, Skool is having really good SEO, so it helps you to rank your content, get more views on your YouTube channel, etc. So that's a really great additional traffic source onto your offers in which you can use that community. But then also I'm putting all of the free resources I've created there. So now I can run ads to one central hub, promote the central hub, but also promote the different things within it. And I have this really high valuable touch point with people as a first experience. I can optimize the minutes spent with me, and I can easily upgrade from there into the other offers that I have, the Skool affiliate. I can link the groups that I like. So it's like one central lead magnet community hub that I can build on Skool that basically functions as an upgrade environment, but it's just for me recategorizing everything that I've done and just making the work that I've put out more accessible and easier to find. One-time effort, right? Easy to maintain, just gets you much more mileage out of what you do anyways, and it's monetizable in multiple ways as a lead gen for upgrade and through being an affiliate for Skool and for other communities. And that brings me to my last point here now is I still think a lot of people are completely sleeping on the opportunity of being an affiliate for Skool. If you have a Skool community and you like the product, you should be doing this, even if you're not somebody who helps others with business or anything. A while ago, when the hobby plan came out, told people who have a community, if you're not doing this, here's a text that you can send as a post that you email to your members, which is a function in Skool, to everyone, letting them know that Skool has a $9 plan, and if they're interested in starting a community, they should do it from your affiliate link. And I had so many people telling me that their community members were creating a community and now they're getting a monthly kickback from that. If people, even if they never thought about making a Skool, experience community for the first time, ideally through your community, they will want to do the same because it's really fun, and you have at least a percentage of your audience that will likely end up creating a Skool. So if you nudge them towards that, you can literally be the one getting the affiliate commission for that because they sooner or later start a Skool anyways. So bake that into your Skool community, into your onboarding, create frequent nudges around it, right? Another underrated way to make money on Skool is just referring the communities that you love and that you're a part of. If you start to build on Skool, chances are that you shopped around and you discovered communities that you love and you're a part of them. There is no harm in creating a classroom within your community where you just say, hey, and by the way, here are my favorite other communities on Skool. This is beneficial for you and it makes you money in multiple ways. The first, very obvious way is that you get the monthly recurring affiliate commission from that. Can massively help you contribute towards making your Skool viable if you're just starting out. But the other way in which this helps you to make more money on the platform is when somebody is joining your Skool and they're not coming from Skool already. If they are in more communities than just your own, they have multiple reasons to come back to the platform. It is stickier, and with that, it also reduces the churn in your community, ultimately making you money because they pay just another month and then another month and then another month. So I think most people are completely sleeping on this underrated way to make money. It's a really easy thing that you can do, and I do get quite a bit of the monthly affiliate income that I get on Skool just from people who have a school where I recommended them. For example, my YouTube editor, Ben, I keep sending him people because he also contributed a training for my community. And that's another tip of what you can do when you say, hey, here are communities that I love. If the community is relevant for what people trying to achieve in your community, even if it's just slightly, I would ask the person that you are a member of if they want to do a guest training. A lot of people are willing to do that. And that's kind of my last underrated way, is collaborating more on the platform. There are so many community owners who have built ultra passionate audiences on the platform. And one of the easiest ways in which you can kickstart or accelerate your own growth is to contribute expert trainings in their communities with an affiliate link back to your community. I have done this multiple times. I was in Jack AI's community. I was in Ron's community. And whenever somebody is asking me, Arlan Hamilton just asked me if I want to come and speak in her community, which is what I will do at the end of the month. I speak at the school in real life events because those people bring their passionate communities. It is, these people are already on Skool. They're hyper passionate. They trust the group owner. And now you are allowed to bring your expertise and link back to your thing. And it can stay there and live there and bring you members in the future, while also bringing the community owner affiliate in the future. It's so underutilized. Collaborate more with other people on Skool. Be valuable. And the way to start that opportunity, to start that relationship, is being a high value member first, or bringing your big audience to Skool. For most of you, you'll have to be a high value member first, helping out in the community, implementing, getting results, building a relationship with the community owner that has this loyal, highly engaged audience that they are always looking for ways to bring more value towards. And maybe it can be you. One of the most underrated ways to build an audience and make money on Skool quicker. All right, so these were all of the underrated ways I could think of. I hope you found this helpful. And if you want to know how I made my first $1,000 with no audience on Skool, an experiment that I ran, then you want to check out this video. And if you want to learn about how to find your niche on Skool, then you want to check out that video. All right, see you there. Thank you and bye for now.